YouTube, welcome to the top 8 of the Meta Weekly on the day of new Blue Eyes White Dragon. We are starting this off with Blue Eyes White Dragon facing off against another dragon deck, being Dragon Link. Who is the better dragon deck and dragon player? Let's find out as we hop in by watching as long as you can. That greatly supports these videos, even if we're on in the background. Thank you very much. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Summoning our Kaiser Seahorse, being met with a Max C immediately into our crossout designator negating. Thus, I am expecting to get blown out by that ogre. The ogre is going to be big. It'll take out the True Light, it'll wipe out a Blue Eyes White Dragon, or we could forego the True Light altogether as we feel something is sus. So right now their field would not light up, and I would take note of that, definitely. I summoned, I chain link blocked, field's not lighting up again, field is now lighting up, and you ogred this mausoleum instead. That's interesting. I guess we feared that the Mad Lad would not summon into the Maiden searching for True Light. Maybe he would go right into the Spirit Dragon. I think that's what Virus was thinking. So we're going to go into a Hieratic Seal to follow up, thanks to our Druid Swarm here. Nicely done. We did run the risk of there already being a Blue Eyes in our hand to then reborn, or I should say summon off of the Spirit, which would then trigger the Maiden to summon to then send for a True Light. Now, despite all that, we do have double Veiler plus the Hieratic Seal spin a face-up card back to the hand. A big problem is if they cross out Designate Veiler, it negates both of them. But a benefit is this is not impermanence, so we could use both in the same chain, where with double imperm in the hand, you negate one, the other one's negated. That is bad. We're gonna Bonfire, grab a Poplar. Poplar will trigger off of being added. This is gonna be our 3 disruption that they have to play through. Veiler, negate the Poplar. Cross out Designate, negate the negate. Veiler, negate the Poplar a second time. We still have Hieratic Seal as our last form of disruption. Negate Veiler, but you already negated by another Veiler. We are going straight to battle. We still have our normal summon, but we want to force out the use of the Hieratic Seal, spinning back the Poplar. We're now down to 0 as the Magna Hut searches potentially for a good follow-up play. Yes, you can't search for Sage, unfortunately. Can't search for Maiden. Searching for Kaiser Seahorse can be pretty good, though. Let's speed this up. Striker into the Boot Sector, summon the Clap Serpent into the Romulus. Romulus searching for the Dragon Ravine. Dragon Ravine is going to discard the Poplar, send from the deck an Absormatter, searching our deck for a Rocket Tracer. We cannot normal summon the Tracer, but we have Boot Sector launched to special summon the Rocket Tracer. Onto the field we go, pop the field spell, summon for the deck, a Recharger going into the Pisty. Pisty needs another monster to make a baby with, so we're pointing to the same spot to summon a Banished or Engraved Dragon to where it's pointing to, making the Borland Dragon. We're going to negate the Magna Hut, reborn the Recharger, and just like that, we're going to add back Engrave the Druid Swarm instead of a combo starter play. We have a Roar, which could trigger the Engraved Maiden. We're going to banish away the Rocket Tracer. Now, the Borland can only negate if we have a Rocket Engraved to summon. Do we have another Rocket Engraved to summon? I don't see another Rocket Engraved to summon. That's an issue that we have the Recharger here. Now, beyond the Borland not being able to negate a monster because our Rocket's on field and the other Rocket got banished, this states it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and neither player can also target it with monster effects. How do we out this? What's the outs? Can't kill by battle, can't target with monster effect, we have to non-target wipe it out, and it can't be through a card effect destroying it. True Light's gonna set up Majesty, which would non-target destroy it, but it can't be destroyed by card effects, so it's actually not an out. Druid Swarm can't target it. Are we checkmated by Borland or what? I don't understand. Is Borland really this good? It can also attack every single monster on the field. Holy moly. Druid Swarm can't negate. Goodbye to Blue Eyes Mate. Goodbye to Magna Hut. We really can't do anything, huh? Typhon could spin it back, but our play to summon Typhon is gone. They'd have to summon from the action deck twice. We're going to permanently negate that Maiden, reborning our Recharger. We do have another Rocket Engraved to negate again. Imperm. Woo, there we go. Imperm is the out, which means draw the out. And what's crazy about the Borland negate is the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon can't jump off the field because you can't respond to the Borland negating you. And it's a perma negate. True Light, Reborn the Blue Eyes White Dragon, triggering the Maiden as we further go into another copy of the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon. Battle we go. Let's put that back in grave so you could just reborn it back during the next turn. But this time we have the Imperm. Blue Eye Spirit Dragon jumping off the field, going into the Ultimate Spirit Dragon. We could just negate that with the Borland. We can't Imperm the negate. If we Imperm preemptively, they would still negate. It was pretty much a checkmate on what we wanted to do there. Now making a Borload Savage Dragon. And if we negate Borland, it's only negated for one turn, so we really have to negate it on our own turn and then deal with the Borland. We're going to be triggering the Ultimate Spirit Dragon, reborning the Kaiser Seahorse back in the field as it just simply dies to the Borland. Seahorse send from the deck to the grave a Jet Dragon, which could be quite interesting. True Light during the end phase is going to be negated. Now, does this negate and destroy? No. True Light will stay on the field to be activatable again during the next turn. Thankfully, we have a monster negate, plus negate anything, mate. And we have a Dead Wishes for Eyes of Blue because we need a card in hand to discard to even activate it. What is going on? True Light gets negated. We have one more negate on the Borload. We're going to negate the Borload and not the Borland. Negate the negate. Thus now the True Light will successfully resolve. Reborning our Blue Eyes White Dragon, reborning our Maiden from Engrave. But how do we deal with the Borland? We're going to negate the Maiden, to battle we go, suicide with the Borload, trigger the Jet Dragon, reborn from Engrave. Recharger is also going to trigger to summon another monster that's not the Borload Savage Dragon. The problem with the Jet Dragon is it cannot target the Borland to spin it back. We swing in, say goodbye to the Pisty. We did not want to put the Poplar back to the hand. That would have been a very bad play. And now our out, which was the Imperm, which had to be wasted on the Borload, is now not here for the Borland. So what? This is unstoppable. We cannot out the Borland Dragon. How do we do it? True Light, reborn the Maiden. Now, this could have been effective for stalling if the Borland couldn't attack into every single monster that they control. We're not even using the wishes. We're going to negate the Maiden. Now, you cannot use wishes to add a Light Tuner unless you're also adding a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon. Those spell traps that mention Blue Eyes White Dragon are generally just 3 cards, which in his deck is probably just playing 2. So if you don't have a Roar or Majesty in the deck to add back, then these cards are dead, super dead. No tuner for you. Safer, banishing itself to return Engrave back in the extra deck. And you may be thinking, what about Ultimate Fusion? Not going to be playing Ultimate Fusion, likely, if you're playing the Majesty and you're not playing Magia. We're going to summon the Borload Savage Dragon back on the field. Omni Negate is back. Double dead cards in the back row. Nibiru is an out to the Borload. The Borland, but the Borload's an out to the Nibiru. It's just, this is an impossible duel for Blue Eyes. But even with this being an impossible duel, Blue Eyes is pushing this duel to turn 10, despite, I believe, losing it many turns ago. We are going to Borland, negate our own Engraver, reborn from Engrave. Nibiru is now activatable, but it's no good because of the Borload being able to negate. We're going to make a Lacrima. This should be the final turn of this duel. We're going to reborn back on the field, the Moon of the Closed Heaven, going into our Apollo USA. We got double Monster Negate. Now we have double Negate for the Nibiru. Reborn. Boy, I don't know what we got to do. We got to really hold the Imperms for the Borland. We don't have any good inherent outs to the Borland, from what I'm thinking, right? Does anyone have any ideas on how we're outing the Borland? Primite. Straight up, easy out. Primite Drill Beam. Boom. Target. Banish. Negate. You're out of here, mate. Let's get to it. We're going to start this off with the wishes to check for Ash Blossom. No Ash in sight. They do have a Druistorm. Expect them to be banishing our Blue Eyes or our Maiden. We have Sage grabbing the Maiden. Link off into the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. With the Mausoleum already in hand, we're going to activate it. We're going to Maiden set up the True Lights on a Blue Eyes from the deck to the graveyard. We're now going to attempt to reborn the Blue Eyes. It could be a Blue Eyes from in hand, so we're going to wait with our Jerusalem to instead banish the Maiden. Be gone, Maiden. With no Maiden, what do we do from here? We have a Roar to summon another Blue Eyes from the deck to, I guess, go into a Hieratic Seal. And also set up the Majesty. Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Make sure to activate that first before you get rid of your Blue Eyes on field. As we now summon a Jet Dragon from the deck. Very cool that we are playing that. I like that a lot. With our Hieratic Seal plus Majesty and Ash, we have 3 forms of disruption. And if any card on the field, either it's yours or the opponent, is destroyed, the Jet Dragon will be reborning and will be protecting all your other cards from being destroyed. Wanted Seeker, seeking out our Diablo Star from the deck. As we quickly launch onto the field our Rocket Tracer, getting the Jerusalem engraved to force out the early activation of the Hieratic Seal as we make a Dissipator. Now, Dissipator, because we have banished cards ourselves, does have the ability to negate a monster effect. We're going to call with the grave, finger the Jerusalem, so our Hieratic Seal is not forcibly activated. As we now activate the Majesty to non-target pop the Dissipator before it activates to summon a banished monster before there is even one banished, which would have been the Jerusalem that we could have summoned back on the field. With Hieratic Seal and Ash, we also have the Blue Eyes Jet Dragon triggering off of the Majesty, popping their own card. Now, our other cards cannot be destroyed by anything, by card effects, that is. Ash Blossom negating the original Sinful from summoning from the deck. And we still have our Hieratic Seal to spin a face-up card back to the hand. This is huge. We have to draw something good here or we lose. And we lose. Goodbye to Lurie. Back to the hand. We have 0 disruption. Hey, this is a chance to draw again. Oh, let's go, let's go. We draw something good, we don't lose. Oh, Collapse Serpent, but we don't have a light monster engraved. Wow. All these bodies, none of them are light. No summon for Collapse Serpent. How to beat Borland is beat them before they summon Borland. There you go. That's the out. Kaiser Seahorse, special summon alongside the Blue Eyes White Dragon being on the field. Let's speed this up. Bearing the floor is here, and just like that, 9,000 damage. Uh-oh. Dragon Link's going first. And if they summon Borland, I think we just lose. They're not going to summon Borland under a Maxi and Fool Loss. There is no freaking way. Now, the Sneak Eye Ash being negated means how are we going to even use our other cards in the hand? The Collapse, we passed it. That's it, man. We just got Imperm and Nibiru. Didn't even have to Maxi nor Fool Loss. Perry Reese map searching for a Sage with Eyes of Blue. On summon, the Sage is searching for the Maiden here. We're not going to Imperm that. We're going to wait for the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. We should allow the additional summon of the Sage in hand and then allow them to also summon a Blue Eyes onto the field. Great use of the Impermanence. I completely agree with this. This is the choke point, and it's only activatable if they don't have the Mausoleum in hand. They're not going to play more than 1. We're going to Maiden, put into the back row our True Light. True Light is going to set from the deck our Wishes. Wishes will discard Fool Loss. The big Ash Blossom check. We have passed it as we grab a Veiler plus a Roar. We're going to roar our Blue Eyes onto the field as our Spirit was negated. That will trigger the Engraved Maiden, and we're about to go into our 5th summon. Wishes will equip onto our Blue Eyes the Ultimate Neo, and now we're at 5 summons. Off of the Tyrant Dragon summon, we're going to chain Maxi, which is a draw 2. Pot of Greed. Tribute the field. Come forth and summon. The Tyrant Dragon could recycle an Impermanence if we were to have that engraved. We're going to Jerusalem, banish away our Veiler. Sage is going to send the Jerusalem to summon from the deck a Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Triggering Jerusalem to send the Nibiru. To battle we go, 3k to the face, and we're left with just a Veiler and Nibiru. Off the top of the deck, Wanted Seeker. Is that going to eat our Veiler? We're going to summon the Collapse Serpent first, going into the Striker Dragon. Let's speed this up. Striker Dragon, Collapse Serpent, searching for the Wyver Burster, plus a Boot Sector launch. We're going to summon the Wyver Burster, link this off into a Romulus, grabbing the Dragon Ravine, which will help give us access to a Rocket Tracer by sending an Absol Router from the deck to the grave. We're going to discard the Safer to do so, grabbing the Rocket Tracer as we now summon our Diablo Star, sending the Divine Ravine, I should say Dragon Ravine, as the Veiler now negates. We still have a normal summon or the Boot Sector to summon the Rocket Tracer. We're going to activate the Boot Sector. When do we Nibiru? Summon from the deck Recharger now! Nibiru the field, tribute it all off, give them a super thick token at 5100 defense, using the True Light to reborn the Blue Eyes, plus trigger the Maiden to reborn. Nibiru is also an Alta Borland in addition to your Imperm. The Neo Kaiser is going to be targeting the Maiden. Activate the Maiden to reborn from Engrave our Sage, as we now synchro into a Baron de Fleur. Baron de Fleur is here. We did change the level of the Maiden into level 2 to ensure it can make a Baron de Fleur. As we now True Light Reborn, engrave our Blue Eyes, and lethal damage with the Blue Eyes Lightning. Holy moly. Baron de Fleur is seeing a lot of use. Baron de Fleur is being summoned a lot. I'm quite surprised in that. Begin. Sharon is going to send the tier Kash to the graveyard. In addition to milling 3, we're going to mill an additional 2 more. There's the grief that we needed to even have the Retaliating Sea be activatable. We're going to use the Imperm onto a Kit Kalos. Now we think our Kit Kalos is going to be safe because we have a finger waiting to protect the Kit Cow. They could go into a Caesar, but they're not playing Caesar. So maybe we know that they're not playing Caesar and we don't Nibiru, or we're still afraid of Caesar, but then we trigger the Sharon fusion. Oh, all right. We know. Oh, we took it. We took the gamble. Let them go into Beatrice. Send a Sharon. I guess we got to do it now, right? If it goes into a Rukalos, we're done. Otherwise, if it went into a Dragos to Palia, it would have been okay. Surely they're going into a Rukalos to negate. And as I was saying earlier, that Retaliating Sea is just super dead. Grief is going to be the only thing that will allow the Retaliating Sea to be used. Let's fuse away. As we thought, Rukalos is here. Now, if Rukalos is destroyed by battle, it doesn't reborn. Only if sent to the graveyard by card effect would it go back onto the field. So Nibiru right before the Rukalos is a perfect way to also out her. Sequence is going to be fusing with the graveyard going into the Desiree. Desiree also can be destroyed by battle from the Nibiru, or we go into Little Knight to banish away that Nibiru. Nibiru will no longer be threatening our field. Our field of how much disruption? We have the ability for Little Knight to chain banish away a monster. We have Desiree to non-target negate up to 2 cards in the field. We have Rukalos with the ability to negate and effect a special summon. We do have Call by the Grave in addition to all of that. Let's go. Triple Disrupt. Deception is going to be maybe negated by Desiree. I would say it's a good negate. Otherwise, you can negate the Holiday Amina effect with the Rukalos. Negate. Tails, dead. Can't search. I don't know if that happened to you at locals, but that would be a damn shame if so. You need to have an Illusioner Spellcaster to even activate it. Let's hop into game number 2. We're going right for the Engraver. Droll's gonna hit you big time. Boom with the Droll. No more searching for you. We're gonna triple Tactics Talent, take a look at that hand. Let's get rid of the Sharon. As we set Morian Pass. Morian plus Ash are our 2 forms of disruption. We can flip a special summon monster face down. Wow, no play. And so we would have a play if the Fool Loss were a Pirellia instead, meaning it would be an Aqua. We could then use Grief, summon from the deck, to then send one of the tier limits to then fuse away into the Kit Kalos. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. We would ash that anyway. LZ is going to send away the Fiendsmith Tract, grabbing a Sylvie from the deck here. Droll again. We can't search with Sylvie. We're going to LZ fuse into the Sylvie right away because the Versaligo can't search. 1900 to the face. We are up 1 disruption now. We have Ash, Morian, and Basilvia. Sharon, finally, we're going to send Nibiru, mill 3 cards off the top of the deck, trigger to mill 2 additional more. I am kind of surprised we did not use the Sylvia or the Ashe on the Sharon, right? I feel like that would have been a great negate. This is a bit sus to me. We're going to Sylvia negate the Sharon, which we're lucky that we could even negate this because there should be something chain link blocking it. After the tier Kash, negating, I should say milling 2. Sylvia, negate the fuse. We have one more ability to fuse, which will be summoning a Hovness, then sending it to the graveyard. Ashe will be negating that fusion summon play. Negate. Now Sylvie is full play. Let's flip down the Sharon before they link away into the Moon of the Closed Heaven. Smack us for 100. And I think maybe actually not Moon of the Closed Heaven here. We could have gone into the outer entity Nyarla. Is this a quick effect? Well, the Sharon would not be triggerable. The Moon of the Closed Heaven, we don't have any other Light Fiends in the grave, so the Moon of the Closed Heaven would have not even been full combo. But you know what is full combo? Sylvie. Sylvie into the Tails. Tails into the, well, it should have been LZ Azumina, which we already used, so actually not full combo. Where's the LZ Azumina? It's in grave. We already used it. Unfortunately, and we don't want to send the Call by the Grave to draw a card. Call by the Grave is going to be too good against Tier Limit. We've got to hold it to banish away a Tier Limit. Going into the Requiem. Requiem, jump onto the field and Engraver. Return back the Moon. Reborn the Engraver. Go into the Sequence. Sequence, fuse away our Engraver and Requiem into the Lacrima. Lacrima on summons, going to target Engraver, reborn it back on the field, all with the main phase 2. Triple monster negate Apollo-Say, burn him for 1200, as we also have a finger. I'm going to count this as a form of disruption against Tier Limit. Definitely. Corellia off the top of the deck. What the hell was that? We could have drawn off the Sylvie normal summon. We could have drawn off of the Rusia special summon, a draw 2 after the fact. What is this? We got Fua Loss to draw per summon from the deck or extra deck summon. We're not going to be activating it yet. Go into the Requiem. We're going to wait for a commitment. Once the Grief is activated to summon from the deck, now we're going to fire off the Fua Loss. It can be risky to fire off both Fua Losses in the same chain. Whew. 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 If I had Called By, I would chain Requiem and not Called By. Obviously, it makes the most sense. And if you had one finger, that would finger both of them at the same time. Wow, did we not get punished? That's crazy. That is crazy. We took the huge risk and we're gonna have a huge reward as we're gonna draw 2 for the summon of the Rhino Heart. Damn, we've drawn 3 so far. We have the tier Kash summoning, also reborning from Engrave the Rhino Heart. This is a really funny way to cheat. The Rhino Heart is only legally activatable if you have a Tier Limit in your hand to send to the graveyard on resolution, which you obviously don't confirm to your opponent on whether you have that. It just happens on resolution, so you now know they're not cheating. But if they chain the tier Kash summon, which is in the hand to even make it a legal summon, you now summon the tier Kash, and then they go on the summon of Rhino. You gotta send a card from your hand. You go, no, I swear I don't have any tier in my hand. And then there's no way to confirm it until later in the duel. Maybe they draw additional cards, shuffle up their hand, and they maybe got away with keeping a Sharon in hand, which they probably would have wanted to send to the grave anyway. Still, interesting little play here. Rhino Hearts on summon, chaining the tier Kash. We're gonna mill 3 cards plus send from the deck to the grave. A Sharon. And let's now turn this into a Masquerina. Mask is here. Oh my gosh, so many draws. 9 cards. 9 cards against 2 dead Mulcharmies. We have the Masquerina, which could go into a Little Knight double banish, and that's it. We have double disrupt, and that's it. Oh boy. Let's summon our LZ, search for the Sylvie. Tails will trigger Engrave. Fenrir is going to banish you away. I forgot to mention the Fenrir is another form of disruption. We do have 3, and now we have 2. Now the Masquerina is going to go into the Little Knight play right here, right now. Actually going into an Apollo-Say. So we're now up to 3 disruption. You have nothing protecting it from battle. So to think that we're actually going to go through all 3 disruption, likely not going to happen. Now, the best thing to happen here would be the Guardian Chimera being chain link blocked by something else. If nothing else is chaining with the Chimera, then an Ash Blossom or the Apollo will very simply negate. Why we not negate? It activate, it resolve, we don't negate. I know it can't be destroyed by Masquerena, but still, they drew cards. We're just like, we're in the scoop phase. Yeah, I think so. We're scooping. What are we really gonna do here? What can we really do? I guess Guardian Chimera is gonna swing over anyway. I know IP, but he drew. You wouldn't negate pot. Don't tell me how good Pot of Greed is, and then now, oh, I'm not negating Pot of Greed because I have IP Masquerena protecting me from destruction. Really? You don't negate draw 2? Cross out, we're full lost in the battle phase. We coping. Negate the fool lost, mate. Gotcha. LZ. Oh, this actually gives us a draw, unless we finger it. No. Nope. Nope. Just keep it. I will allow you to have your draw. Go ahead, draw. Priscilla on summon could send the Morian. Morian could reset itself on the field. If we have, it's gotta be level 5 or higher illusion, not a spellcaster. So the Azamina fusion would allow us to reset the Morian. Deception, sinful. Let's tribute off the Priscilla. Let's just speed this up. What are we doing here? Let's count up the 20 disruptions we're gonna have in the end phase against a single top deck. We have nothing good in the graveyard here. Oh boy. Imperm, called by, Veiler, flip down, negates. Let's recycle that back in the field. Negate a monster in field, negate a monster in grave, negate a monster on field, flip a monster on field face down if it's special summon. Sylvia, negate anything. Hovness in hand. Hovness has to be sent to the graveyard by card effect. What do? If we had a way to get it engraved by card effect in the damage step, then that could be a play. We're gonna finger that engraver very easily. No, what do we have in Mercy on him? We're just gonna Morian flip it down, I guess, instead. We'll keep the called by for a tier limit. Save your finger for the mermaid. I don't want to finger your engraver. I'll just flip it down. Sure. We just had way too much disruption. Justinian, I think you played it very well, my friend. Good job. Big fan of you playing tier limit. Let's keep on going. White Force to the top 4. Start this off with our field spell Kash tier, grabbing a unicorn from the deck. Unicorn searching for the birth. We want to Ash the Theosis. That is that. Yep. Very well done. And what are we going to be imperming? What are we holding not imperming, but the Veiler. I would say holding imperm against Kashtira could be a great play to use against the Arise Heart, but Veiler you probably should just use right away. Lightning Storm, wiping out the back row. There's no reason to use the Solemn Judgment. We're going to Genroku jump off the field into Maxi drawing within the battle phase, which is likely not going to help whatsoever. Now, we are getting like hard blown out by a potential Ash Blossom and that Genroku, but it didn't happen, so we're fine. Hydra summon from the deck. We're going to add from the deck to our hand the Kaimin. Get our swings in. We're going to sync Shokan after declaring an attack, going into our Bident Dragon. Bident, Reborn the Chandra, chain the Kaimin to add from the deck and summon from the hand. Come to us, Fadra, as we also summoned that Fadra we added. Reborning our Chandra. We got deck locked down in the main deck. Are you freaking kidding me? What the hell is that? Say goodbye to the Unicorn, and just like that, even if we had Impermanence, it'd be no good. Obviously, Nibiru also does not help us within the battle phase. What could we really even draw into? Hubel, what are you doing, mate? We trolling? We're going to Bident Reborn back onto the field. Look at that, Macro Cosmos. Oh my Jesus. Let's take this into game number 2. Oh, we chose Tenpai to go first, though. Okay, even with us stunning, we don't want to go first because they have a ton of board breakers like Lightning Storm, right? We got Lightning Stormed. Solemn Judgment wasn't going to be good against that. That's fine. If you then get Lightning Storm, they then battle into your barrier statue, and then within the battle phase, they start popping off with Kaiman, and you lose. So I guess it makes sense. Special our Ogre. Ogre searching for the preparations, which could summon a Tenpai, not a Tenpai, but a Kash from our hand or banished. Ogre's going to trigger, which we now know what they're going to draw into the next turn unless the Heretic Seal shuffles up the deck, which likely will happen. So we're going to banish the Dora, go in, spin back the Ogre, which I could just resummon within main phase 2. Ash Blossom, negate the Heretic Seal from summoning a Tenpai from the deck. Now, this is something that I'm not so sure on in the TCG. It's really confusing. I think Master Duel is bugged. It's going to shuffle the deck, right? It didn't. Didn't it usually shuffle the deck if an effect that would touch the deck gets negated? I think they fixed that. Yeah, normally the shuffle animation would happen even if you were negated on searching your deck, which obviously should not happen. We're going to banish away the Kash Ogre, which can be resummoned with the preparations. Now, what do we have here? We do have the ability to use Blaster to send the Ash to destroy a card in the field, taking out the barrier. Solemn Judgment cannot protect from you destroying the barrier. After we destroy the barrier, we could hit Surrender. I think that'd be pretty good, right? We have no play, really, whatsoever. I guess we could summon Blaster and start attacking after Imperm negating the barrier. What are we even doing? We're doing. We're going to Preparation. Preparation is not going to trigger here. It wasn't face up on the activation of the Imperm as we summon our Ogre on field. Yep, we're going to get blasted. Blast off, banish 2 dragons from the grave. Trigger the Ogre, look at the top cards of the deck here. I guess we get to out the barrier. Solemn Judgment would not be able to negate this because it was not an inherent summon. Now let's say we have a Diablo Star. We discard from the hand to summon Diablo Star. Can we negate that? Yes, you can, but just not the Blaster. Say goodbye to the Ogre. Ogre cannot be reborn with the preparations in grave. Unicorn to the hand, but what are we going to do? Tribute summon for Unicorn, getting rid of our barrier statue. We could just preparation summon it, right? Wouldn't we want to summon it like now in the battle phase, swing in? Or we can't because the barrier stops us from summoning. So it was just tribute summon or not. And we do not want to get rid of the barrier. 2,600 to the face. We're now going to have the Macro Cosmos, which, even though Tenpai has good plays under anything being sent to the grave as banished instead, it still stops Fadra Reborn, stops Bident Reborn. Bident and the Transcendent can't reborn themselves from the graveyard if they're banished. We're finally going through with the Tribute Summon. Into Imperm, negate, no search for you, mate. Preparation is going to be reborning the banished monster thanks to the Macro Cosmos, banishing it on Tribute Summon, thus taking this to a game 3. Now Stigmata to Bori is going, bro, come on, man. My deck is built to beat Blue Eyes. We weren't supposed to face off. I could clap the rest of the Blue Eyes players in the rest of the event. I think they're going to have to discuss on which deck is better against Blue Eyes, and I would argue that Stigmata is definitely better. Holy moly, we got the deck locked down. Neither player can add cards from the deck to their hand except by drawing them. And monsters cannot be special summoned from the main deck. Now, I believe that all of the floodgates that exist should have this extra effect of destroy this card during your second standby phase after activation. I think that's a bit too long, though. It should probably be after your first standby phase. XC. Let's Pada E. Get drawn. Come to me. We now have the Ogre. Thank you. We are drawing. Let's now summon the barrier statue, set up the lockdown. Oh my Jesus. Imagine seeing this on the ladder, how pissed you would be. This is insane. Preparation ready alongside the Ogre. If you were to activate a trap, we get to look at your hand and banish a card. You can't special summon except water monsters. Of course, you have no water in hand. I will negate your normal summon with Solemn Judgment to protect my barrier statue. You can't add from the deck. You can't special summon from the deck. I can negate an interaction with the deck. I also have Max C in case you find a way to special summon. Is this not a checkmate? Summon, negate. That's it, mate. No! Negated. Well, it's Bori. I think telling the stun deck to go first was maybe a mistake. That's exactly what happened, by the way. Bori chose who would go first and second. We chose this fate. We are looking at the top of the deck, and we're going to banish the Gold Sarks. We know guaranteed they're going to draw into an Ash Blossom. Can Ash help us in this scenario? Not really. So there you go, Ash as expected, but we have no more protection for the barrier statue. We still can't add from the deck. We're gonna preparation, summon the unicorn, main phase 2 Chandra. I guess what are we gonna do with that, right? We don't want them to trigger the unicorn. Look at the extra deck and banish away, maybe. Big Eye is going to take control of that Fadra. Your Fadra is now mine. The Big Eye cannot declare an attack this turn. So this 7,000 damage is not actually there. But it does not matter as the Ogre takes him out for game. 2-1 victory. Damn. Start this off with an Engraver, searching our deck for the Tract. We have Magna Hut to banish the Engraver or the Lacrima targeting Engraver. We also have Maxi. Do we fire off the Maxi right here, right now? We do have the Ash Blossom to negate. We also have Impermanence for the sequence play. Do we negate the sequence? I would think you do so. You don't rely on the Magna Hut to banish off of Lacrima targeting. That's way too risky. Or maybe the Imperm is better used on something else, like a Diablo Star. Maybe that's what he wants you to believe. If we're left with an Engraver on fields plus, I should say Lacrima plus sequence, what could they really do with that? Make a Little Knight? And I guess Little Knight would dodge the Imperm on the Diablo Star. Just like that, eating the Imperm when we know they could make a sequence, that's what we gotta do. Because the Diablo Star would go into the Sinful Deception, which would go into Sinful, I should say the Sylvia. Sylvia would then negate the Impermanence. Now let's get sequencing. Sequence, fuse 2 cards in the graveyard for the Lacrima. Lacrima, when targeting the Engraver, banish it. Straight up. Nicely done. I would argue that I think we possibly made a mistake here going into the early Diablo Star, right? Had we waited for Diablo Star, let sequence eat the Imperm, the Magna Hut would have not been as good against our Diablo Star plays. Diablo Star is actually okay against Hollowed Azamina trying to return the Brisalago Engraver back in the extra deck, but if you feel like they have a Bestial, you could just keep Brisalago on the field, play around the Bestial, and it's much less effective as you just return the Brisalago on field back in, and then what happens is we go into our Snake Eye engine, and then we like definitively win, right? The whole Snake Eye play should have happened from here, but it didn't because we changed up our plays. We're going to Tract, add the Lurie, the Droll and Lockbird solos here. I would argue it's solos, Engraver adding Tracts, but because we drew in a Tract, it no longer solos. That was pretty lucky. I can't believe that. We should have added Tract and then not been able to activate it. How did that happen? Let's use the Requiem equipped on an Engraver, send it to the graveyard for the Diablo Star, set up into the back row, our original Sinful. All these plays are under Droll. As you can see here, lingering effects are shown. We're under the Droll, but we don't care. If we're able to use the Tracts, how did we get so lucky? That is crazy. We literally were gonna shoot them down. Shut them down. Engraver add Tracts, and then they can't use it. We are going first. We have Deception. Deception can be followed up by the Oak if we were to get Ashed here. Grabbing the Hollowed Azamina. Get ready for Maxi as we Ash Blossom negate. Probably should just scoop, because this ain't it. Oh boy. We have Desiree non-target negate up to 2 cards in the field. It's also untargetable. We have triple monster negate with the Apollo USA. We have Promethean Princess, which could pop a monster on special summon. We could then Sylvia negate anything. We could then Masquerena go into a double Little Knight banish. We also have Droll and Lockbird. We only have 9 disruptions versus 5 cards in hand. A late drawn Nibiru for the turn. Okay. The Wedju Temple here We're going to Flameburge, summon our Masquerina from the back row, getting ready to Little Knight banish away whatever you put into the back row. We're going to do it right now. We're going to use the Flameburge, go into the Little Knight, as we now drop down to 8 forms of disruption, as the Little Knight will activate to banish a card on field or engrave. Flameburge triggering, and we're also going to have a little Link Karibo engraver to protect our Little Knight and Apollo from being attacked into. Whoa! Cross out Designator negating the Flameburge Dragon, which now turns off the use of the Promethean Princess. Can't Promethean. We're going to use Divine Temple to steal your Nibiru as the Desiree negates the Poplar. Negate. Got him. I can't believe we negated Flameburge and my hand is still showing so many fingers of disruption. How was that not a massive play? It just wasn't. It wasn't that great. All right, 1-in-1. Let's hop into game 3. Send away our Nibiru for our Diablo Star. You're ready to use Ash on the Sinful Deception, or I guess use it on the original Sinful. Send Diablo Star to summon for the deck, nothing as the Ash negates. Shadow is on Azamina, isn't he? No, not playing Azamina. I think Shadow is sick of people using Ogre against the Sinful Deception. He's also sick of people using the Retaliating Sea against the Hollowed Azamina. It's really annoying. So if we just forego that, no Azamina on our extra deck, there you go. That's fine. What is up with this? This is like the poor man Caesar, right? What is going on here? We have a Photon Lord, which can negate any monster effect. We have 2 monster negate with the Apollo. We have Masquerina banish 2 cards with Little Knight. We have Desiree non-target negate up to 2 cards. We have Promethean Princess, which could pop on special summon. Wait, he drew in a Dark Ruler. Woo, what? 7 disruption and the Dark Ruler turns off 6. We can't stop this. Now, a way to stop this would be having a back row card we could change the Dark Ruler to then chain Desiree to negate the Dark Ruler, because the Dark Ruler states neither player could activate monster effects. Anything that's not a monster effect could be chained to this. Do we have a trap that's activatable in the graveyard? No, we do not. We have 7 disruptions into Dark Ruler no more. No more. Negate. Now we have Promethean. That's it. That's it. Now, a way to mitigate the Dark Ruler no more is to have a Divine Temple. Divine Temple would have summoned Masquerina. We would have at least 3 disruption thanks to Divine Temple. So my question is, what happened to the Divine Temple that's in grave? Why are you in the grave, mate? I needed you to play around a Dark Ruler no more. Well, when are we going to Promethean? Do we Promethean or do we just toggle off? Now we can't Promethean. It's dead. Can't. Nope. No fire on the field. We deal no battle damage at least. Because no battle damage is dealt, we possibly toggled off to just do something else and then come back knowing that we can't lose in this turn. Let's reborn. Let's speed this up. Wreck. We definitely want to get rid of that Photon while it's on the field and negated. Equip the Engraver. We're going to send it to the grave. We're going to summon our Sequence. Sequence is going to be fusing the grave into our Desiree. We're going to summon our Diablo Star, sending our... Yep. Damn. Scooping the Dark Ruler no more. That is wild. We deleted 6 disruptions out of 7. Because there was no Divine Temple to help mitigate that. We still had just Promethean, and then that we didn't even find a good use of Promethean, or we just were completely demoralized from even wanting to activate it. Are you ready? Begin. Well, you don't have to wait 10 minutes for our turn 1 play at least. We have the deck lockdown. Let me repeat what this card does real quick. Neither player could add cards from the deck to the hand except by drawing. And monsters cannot be summoned from the main deck. You know, the new Blue Eyes deck that just came out, they like to use Roar to summon Blue Eyes from the deck. Can't happen. Can't use Sage to summon from the deck. Now, we're just talking about Blue Eyes, but this is against a Snake Eye Fiendsmith deck. Let's see what happens here. Backed up by double Solemn Judgment. We're gonna use Solemn to negate Impermanence. And then we have another Impermanence. What are we gonna Solemn Judgment the other Impermanence? We can't. There's no way. We need this for a normal summon. This has to go through. What? Uh-oh. Well, it actually worked. It worked. We cannot summon Diablo Star. It is not a water. And we're not big enough on our normal summon to take out the barrier statue. 2,000 life points left. Pot of Extravagance off the top of the deck. Oh, but we can't add except by drawing. We are able to draw under deck freaking lockdown. Double the barrier statue. Oof, 1,800 defense. The Clockwork continuous spell would have reduced the defense by 500, then boost up our attack by 500. We're gonna end our turn. The deck lockdown should be done now, right? Destroy this during your second standby phase. Now we could summon from the deck, add from the deck, set Droll and Lockbird. Stun is looking quite desperate by setting a Droll. What's going on here? We're going to be able to activate the Deception Sinful, tribute away our dead Maxx C, grab from the deck the Hallowed Azamina, but we can only special summon water. We can now tribute summon. The Droll wasn't desperation, the Droll was aggression so that we could tribute summon for Ogre. Let's wipe out the Ash. We know exactly what's on top of the deck as we banish whatever we want. Do we want them to have a Dark Lord no more? No. They're now gonna top deck guaranteed into a Snake Eye Diablo Star. Holy moly, the Dark Lord no more was desperately needed. Off the top of the deck, which should have been a Dark Ruler no more. What could we have done? The Droll and Lockbird had to be destroyed by battle by Maxx C. Are you really gonna normal a Maxx C and swing into the Droll? No way. Wow. Back-to-back deck lockdown, double Imperm negated by double Solemn, Dark Ruler no more deleted off the top of the deck. How disgusting. Dimension Shifter right away, ensuring that any card being sent to the grave would be banished instead, but Call by the Grave fingering the Shifter. As the Shifter is limited to one, say goodbye to you. We can now make our plays with our Divine Temple plus Original Sinful. We have Droll and Lockbird, which a lot of people say Droll is not so good. And I can agree that Droll's not going to be good here. Adding a Poplar to trigger to then chain Droll to, Apollo USA, activate Flameburst, equip the Masquerina. And this is what I was talking about earlier. If you Dark Ruler no more, negate this field, Divine Temple would still summon Masquerina, and we still have Promethean Princess. That would be 3 disruptions still. So on top of those 3 disruptions through a Dark Ruler no more, we have Desiree, negate any card in the field non-targeting, and it's also non-targetable itself. And then we have 2 more negates on the Apollo USA, so we're at 6 disruption plus the Nibiru giving us 7. 7 disrupt versus this hand. That's a hand. We already know they have Macrocosmos. We know they have Birth. We looked at their hand, and they drew into the Rise Heart that we returned back in the deck. Okay. What am I gonna do? I am my turn, okay? I don't surrender because maybe you could disconnect. That's a possibility, right? Just like that. Lethal damage. Let's hop into game 3. Whoa. Or going to Barrier Statue. Yeah, we skipping that. We're going to go into the Kash tier plays instead. We're going to be banishing Unicorn, then reborn it with the Birth to then search our deck for nothing. But we have Macrocosmos. And it's important to note that Maxx C cannot be used while Macrocosmos is face up and resolved. We're going to go into the Shang-Ri. Shang-Ri can summon a Fenrir from the deck. Let's go. We can just use Maxx C early or chain it to the Macrocosmos. Gonna get hit with the cross-out Designator, negate Macrocosmos, mate. Any card sent to the grave is now banished instead, meaning that the Diablo Star is illegal if it were to activate. It's not possible to summon. It doesn't activate, it just can't summon. You can't send a card to the graveyard to activate its effect, Ash Blossom negating the Shang-Ri. Thankfully, we had cross-out Designator for the Maxx C. Very nice. Now, we got to be careful about the Birth if cards were to be sent to the graveyard, which they're not thanks to the Cosmos. We have Ash at the Poplar triggering to summon itself. It can't be sent to the graveyard to equip. We're gonna grab an Original Sinful, which cannot activate. Can't use Diablo Star, can't use Original Sinful. Cannot be used. But we go into Little Knights. With Little Knight, banishing away the Macrocosmos. We can now Original Sinful. We can now Diablo Star. They can now legally be used. Oak on summon. What can I say? We have no disruption here besides potentially the birth. If you activate the effect of a spell or a spell card activation, we could then birth, banish 3 cards from the graveyard face down. Now we can't. Nope. Only while we control a Kash tier monster would that be doable. This is controlling a Kash tier monster card, but not a monster. Let me double check on the birth stating you have to control a monster. You control it, yep, Kash tier monster, not monster card. Let's now, Stun got outplayed, right? Holy moly. Should we have summoned the barrier statue backed up by the Macrocosmos? Would that have been better? I did talk about the being able to Poplar into the field spell, getting boosted up bigger than the barrier statue, so maybe that wasn't going to even be a good idea. But damn. Barrier statue on the follow-up is not a follow-up card. It's not going to do anything. Let's keep on going. We have Hollowed Azamina, Chain the Wanted Seeker. We all know this duel's over. It's over. Sylvia summoned. I'm not sure if people are happy about this, right? You want Stun to lose? We have Original Sinful, return back in the deck with the Wanted Seeker, draw a card, Promethean, Reborn, 10,000 damage, equip, the Desiree, negates, go into the Hida Mates, Hida steal a fire monster from the grave, please make it end. We are going to, okay, let's go. This is main phase 2, right? All right, let's now conclude the duel. Lethal damage. Thank you, Morpho. Thank you, Stigmata. Great play from both of you. Could have been anyone's duel. That game 3. Damn. Original Sinful and Diablo Star could not be used, but we had the outs. It's actually, I pass. We have Valor, Ash, Fualas, and Nibiru. We're going to Fualas before you summon from the extra deck. We're going to Ash negate the Fualas, have the finger be saved for something else instead. Valor would be good, well used on the Spirit, I would say, right? This is a good time to use it. The Seahorse is going to be chain link blocking from a potential Ash Blossom, not that you would want to be using it on the Spirit. Valor Imperm on the Spirit Link 1. That's a good choke point. And the Ash Blossom being used on Wishes is the other really good choke point against Blue Eyes. That's you want to be saving your cards for. Ash, negate the Wishes. As we finger the Ash. Negate. Not today. Now, let's get Nibiru'd, right? Nibiru, I would say, is really good against Blue Eyes. Let's see how true that is. I'm gonna grab a Maiden from the deck plus the Roar. Maiden's going to equip it to the back row, the True Light. Roar's gonna summon from the deck into summon number 3. We're gonna be triggering the Maiden in Grave, Reborn, summon number 4, into summon number 5. We're just gonna Nibiru right away. If you were to Chain Spirit, whatever we summon would get Nibiru'd. Why wait? Just get rid of it, mate. And, okay, what? We put the token in attack position, which triggers the Jet Dragon Engrave to summon from Engrave, which will on attack be able to, why wasn't able to activate? Why? Oh, we don't want to return Nibiru back, right? Target a card, return it back to the hand. Sure. Okay, just get rid of it. Cool. Kind of interesting. Main phase 2, True Light set up the Majesty of White, which can non-target pop 1 card in the field plus Imperm. Holy scoop! The recursion of True Light. It's too much. What are you thinking? Do we play Nibiru over Ogre? I think we gotta start. What did I say? I said if people start playing Ogre, then it's gonna be a problem to be playing Blue Eyes. I think so. I think for you to keep them at bay, you gotta Ogre the True Light. Even if they play around the True Light getting Ogred, it still hurts. It's still in the graveyard. What do we have here? We have Retaliating Sea, which against Blue Eyes will work against just the Roar. The Roar is searchable, so it can consistently actually be used against you. What's interesting is Retaliating Sea and Ogre are great against Azamina. And it seems like they are potentially also great against Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is not going to always go into Roar, though. So maybe I wouldn't say Retaliating Sea is amazing against Blue Eyes, only if they really hard play into it through activating an early Roar. Oh boy. Parry Race Map is a combo starter. Now, the problem with this, it has to be used at the start of the main phase. If this were to be negated, I'm not saying you should negate it, they would just not be able to activate another one. It will be at the cost of half your life though. You do not add a Maiden with this, you add a Sage. And then we're completely dependent on that normal summoned Sage against a triple monster negate, negate anything, plus flip a special summon monster face down, plus pop up multiple cards in the field, 1 to 2 cards with the Guardian Chimera. Veiler also negate a monster on the field. This is 8 disruption versus 1 play. Like we have 1 play versus 8 disruptions. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Grab the Sage. Here's our 1 play versus 8 disruptions. Negate. Gotcha, mate. We are having no way to get to Maiden now. Yeah, it's done. Let's go into game 2, though. Game 3, that is, right? We already won game 1. We won game 1. Game 3. All right. We got this, maybe. How many plays we have here? We have 2 plays versus how many hand traps? We have, Fua lost, but we have Ash negate the Fua loss, which means we have full combo uninterrupted. Let's freaking go. We are Flame On. Ash negate the Fua loss, mate. Not today. With this, we have the power of Max C, but it's not a form of disruption. It's just very annoying. We have Veiler, and then we have non-target pop up to 1 card in the field. Negate the activation of any card in the field, but do not destroy it. We then have Cipher Divine, which can negate the effect of a monster no matter where it is, then destroy any card on the field. That is going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions, plus big bodies on the field. In response to the Fenrir, we're going to non-target, wipe it off the field. 3 disruptions left. We're going to follow up with the Tract. Tract, add Lurie. No Spirit Dragon on field to negate the Engrave Lurie activating. But we can chain Max C. Negate. Nothing, because we don't... Oh, we do. We do have the Ash Blossom negate. Negate the Max C. Cipher. Negate the negate. You will be under the effect of Max C in the final game. Oh my goodness, Cipher tried to destroy itself because it had to. You have to destroy a card in the field, then it protected itself. That's scary. What the? We have Veiler and Ultimate Spirit. Requiem jumping off the field to summon from the deck. Nothing as we negate the activation. We have not normal summoned yet. We have Sylvie, which is a full combo. Unless we get negated by Veiler, which we did search for. Negate the entire duel as we go into the grand finale with Blue Eyes White Dragon. Begin. Sending away our Dark Ruler no more to start this off with our Diablo Star. We did not Max C in the standby phase. We're going to Veiler, negate. We could cross out Designate, negate the negate. We do have a Druid Swarm, which could be used against a Hollowed Azamina play. If they get Rasalago in Graveyard to then try to return it back to the extra deck to summon a Sylvia, you will then banish it. Now to play around that, you keep your Rasalago on the field. Will we make that play? We're gonna chain Max C, and we have no out to the Max C, meaning instead of going into Rasalago, we forego that play, going straight into the Sylvia with our Omni Negate. Sylvia is quite weak, though, to something like a Bestial. We're going to use the Bestial to banish away the Diablo Star within the end phase to ensure that we have an out for the Sylvia before it can negate a card like our Wishes for Eyes of Blue, which the main counter to this card is an Ash Blossom, which there is none to be seen. We're going to make our plays in main phase 2 as we knock out the Sylvia. Wishes for Eyes of Blue. Discard wishes to grab a Majesty plus a Sage. Sage on summon, activating to search our deck for Imperm Negate. We're taking that gamble that they do not have a Maiden in hand. And in fact, they do not. So we're going to have to follow up with the Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. But first, we're going to turn our Sage into a Spirit with Eyes of Blue, searching for a Mausoleum. Mausoleum's going to send a Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck to the graveyard, as we're now going to use the Spirit with Eyes of Blue to reborn from engrave our Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes White Dragon with the wishes equipping onto the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I think we can turn this into a Tyrant Dragon. Yes, possibly that's what we're going to be doing, as we summon from the deck a Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. We're going to send both of them to the graveyard. Well, this is main phase 2, so we're not summoning a Tyrant Dragon. That's fine. Hieratic Seal. Now, with this, we do have the ability of non-target pop a card in the field. We could then use the Hieratic Seal to non-target spin a face-up card back to the hand. A good use of that would be on the activation of the Deception, tributing a monster to search the deck, if that's the play that they're doing. But we have the Hallowed Azamina already engraved, so that's not the play that we would end up doing. So what in fact would this actually be a good play? I'm not sure on when we're actually going to use it. The True Light could reborn the Blue Eyes White Dragon from engrave, but we have no Maiden engrave to trigger off of that summon. Now we have to be very careful. If any card on the field is destroyed, the Jet Dragon will jet itself onto the field, and then at the start of the damage step, it can target any card the opponent controls, returning it to the hand, and all other cards you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Now, how do you play around this when the Majesty will destroy a card in the field, triggering the Jet to jet itself onto the field? We are in big trouble. Hallowed Azamina returning back the Sylvia engraved to go back to the hand here, activating the Deception Sinful. We're going to go straight into the Hallowed Azamina to non-target pop. This is a gamble. A gamble that's going to work well, because if they have another Sinful in the hand, that would be sent to the graveyard instead to still summon our Azamina. We are banking on the fact that the Deception Sinful is the only Sinful spoils that they have access to on the field. Get poppin'. Wipe it away. And we have no Sinful in hand to send. Trigger the Jet. Jet is now in the field, protecting the rest of our monsters. We're going to use the Hieratic Seal, our final form of disruption. Gia, why'd he surrender? No surrendering the grand finale. Yeah, okay. Yep. IDC, right when I'm losing too. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, what the heck is this? Morpho? What? Oh, no way. No play? What? Okay, passing turn 1. No. We got Maiden. We have 1 play. Let's do it. True Light is here. Into the back row. All these hand traps. I don't see Ogre. Where's Ogre? It's time to take Droll out for Ogre. I think so. We're going to negate the wishes with our Ash Blossom negate. Just like that, mate. We're going to go into the Master with Eyes of Blue, into the Spirit of Eyes of Blue. Link 1, Valor negate. You're not going to have a way to get Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck into the grave. No Mausoleum for an additional summon, plus that Blue Eyes dump, and then the Spirit would not be able to reborn it back in the field. Nicely done. True Light with no Blue Eyes White Dragon is summoned in the field. We're going to have to set a spell or trap from the deck, which cannot be a Wishes. You cannot set a card you already have in your graveyard. We have Ash, Maxi, and Imperm, 2 Disruption plus the Maxi. Let's Maxi them up. We do not have Ash anymore. So, summon from the grave, draw a card, draw a Lockbird, no more drawing for you, as we now have another form of disruption. We drew into the Valor. The Requiem, for some reason, is big enough to take out a Spirit with Eyes of Blue, main phase 2, into an Ash Blossom negate. Now, the Ash being used to negate Requiem means we have nothing to negate the Maxi. 7,700 life, can we perform lethal damage? We have Roar to summon a Blue Eyes, which will trigger the Engraved Maiden to reborn. But that's a draw 2 for the Maxi. Uh-oh. Big Maxi. Are we taking the Maxi challenge? Do we even trigger the Maiden Engrave? Summon a Blue Eyes. It has to be summon in defense. Draw 1. Maiden under Maxi? Nope. We're not doing it. I'm not giving you the draw. We're going to Wishes equip onto the Blue Eyes White Dragon. If we passed on, after we pass on the Maiden effect, we have Majesty to non-target pop a card. We have Imperm to negate a monster. We have Valor to negate a monster. Triple Disruption. Why would we Maiden give them even more cards? Ending the turn, we have no play. Set a Wishes from the deck because the Wishes is now banished and no longer in the grave. Kaiser Seahorse is here. Summon from the hand. We're going to fuse into the Tyrant Dragon. 5,100 damage as we battle face True Light, Reborn Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes Lightning attack. No way. Gianna, you scripted the best grand finale. Thank you, Gianna. Yes. Let's go. We get the Konami payout, right? They said Blue Eyes had to win, and with the Blue Eyes Lightning, max payout. Yes. Holy moly. The day of a brand new deck release or brand new support for a deck, and it wins the entire event. Where were people's Ghost Ogres? Where are all the Bystials? Where are more Cash Tier Up, more Stun? Where is it? It is top deck list time. Meta Weekly. Let's go. Blue Eyes somehow was the top deck in the top 16. Ain't no way. We really got to focus on the way the deck is being played. So very quickly, it should be at tier 3 already. And that means we're going to have stats on the best way to play it. Let me log into the site real quick to get rid of the cringe ads. There we go. And now let's check out the top decks. All right. Let's go. We're going to start this off with Fiendsmith. This is, yep, there we go. Is it lots of hand traps and non-engine plus, all non-engine plus Fiendsmith. Well done, Mordred. Happy to see it. Good job. Let's keep on going. And then we have Vanquished Soul, the Crusader. 40 cards. We got Skullmeister up in here. That's quite interesting. Okay, good job. Supreme King Melodious. Got the main deck Summon Breaker instead of the Secret Village. Good job, Flash HD. And then Fluanda freaking Ease, Ovi Diug. Happy to see it. Very nice. And then we have Bystial. Haga with a true Bystial deck. No Fiendsmith. Well done. Good job, Haga. Happy to see that. Dragon Link Net Virus. We have how many decks are in this deck? I am seeing Fiendsmith, Bystial, Diablo Star, and Bystial all within Dragon Link. Holy moly. So I guess here's a better view of the deck. Let me zoom out so you can see it on this end. There you go. Good job to you. And yeah, I think I probably want to play something like this. I like the 60 card mishmash decks. I know a lot of people are hating on that type of way of playing. Tier Limit, Justinian. Looking good as always. Looking very similar to the other ways we've been playing it. And let's go to White Forest Azamina, Yuri Evna. Very well done. This is looking very similar to how I played, except I am playing more Cash Tier than you. You just got Fenrir. Okay, sure. And then we have, I'm excited to get to the Blue Eyes decks. Stigmata. Super stun. Stunning it up. Stunning builds. We have Tenpai Dragon. S.A. Bori. I feel like we're not seeing much Ghost Ogre in these deck lists. What do y'all think about that? We got to up the Ghost Ogre numbers and then Blue Eyes will not be as good. TS Vac with the Sky Striker Tenpai. That card scanner early on within the tournament was nuts. Malong plus the Ultimate Slayer, that's huge. Well done. And then we have Snake Eye Fiendsmith. MD Morpho, good job getting second place. Here is the main deck, extra deck. We have dropped, we do have Azamina. I didn't say, I mean the other Mad Lad dropped it. We do have Dark Will no more. Shadow is the one who dropped Azamina. We got room instead for the Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, which the Millennium Monsters could help you summon. Well, this one's level 6. 2 of these are level 8, though. The Doom Dragon level 8. So I guess Senjin plus Doom Dragon equal the Photon Lord. Is that how we're doing it? Good job, Shadow. And now it's time for Blue freaking Eyes. Let's scroll to the bottom real quick, and then we're going to look at it all combined. Ol Kineski. The Mad Lad. Let's look at the extra deck real quick here. We have Moonlight Dragon, which is directly summoned off of the Spirit Dragon to spin a special summon monster back. We have Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, which you could do with the Crimson Dragon while keeping another Spirit Dragon on field. You could do this on your turn 1. And, yep, okay, we got Baron DeFleur also up in here. Good job to that. So I would think a common play is you could summon a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, and then with the other Spirit Dragon, go into a Blazar Dragon at the start of their turn, possibly. What is good? Or no, we can't do that actually. Spirit Dragon. I guess if we Crimson into Hot Red, then the other Spirit Dragon can. I guess we just go into the Ultimate Spirit if we wanted to make that play instead. So just have a lot of options with the Crimson Dragon. We do have Ghost Ogre in the main deck. We do want to be winning the mirror match, surely. So things I really want to focus on is Bingo, the Neo Kaiser Seahorse, and Piri Reese map. Who's playing what and how much? So Neo Kaiser Seahorse is played more so than the others. We still have double Piri Reese map up in here. And then another extra deck. Wait, okay, we do have a Tyrant and Neo. This one is double Tyrant. So here we have Boda. Boda with his extra deck here. We got the Blazar Dragon and Cipher, Baron DeFleur, Relinquished Anima. Okay. So is Relinquished Anima a good idea? I guess we want to like try to summon that against an Apollo USA maybe. Would a third Spirit just possibly be better? Or I don't know. You tell me if this worked out well for you or anyone else playing Anima. And again, the Kaiser, the Piri Reese map. Another thing that's noteworthy is the Jet Dragon. Jet Dragon being played. We have Ultimate Fusion being played with Majesty. I don't think the other Mad Lad was playing Ultimate Fusion. No Ultimate Fusion. Old Kenneski was playing Synchro Rumble. That's also something that is definitely noteworthy. Master with Eyes of Blue also should be pointed out who is playing that and who is not. Boda is not playing the Master with Eyes of Blue. And then we have the first place deckless Nikki Boy. Nikki Boy on Baron DeFleur and Moonlight. We got Cipher and Blazar for a lot more options. So if you are a Magia lover, sorry, Magia is not in the top cut. We do have Synchro Rumble, double Piri Reese map, triple Kaiser Seahorse. I think the fact that Kaiser Seahorse can target Maiden, that's huge. That's a big deal right there. And it's also great that it's special summonable from your hand if you control Blue Eyes. So if you have Sage and Neo Kaiser, it's not really competing with your normal summon as much. I mean, they both have in-hand effects. You could use the Sage effect from hand or Kaiser from hand to special summon. We have Jet Dragon and Synchro Rumble plus Master with Eyes of Blue. Holy moly. Well done to you. And let's look at the total breakdown on how the deck's being played. So we're going to do tournaments only. So based off of tournaments only for Blue Eyes White Dragon, triple Spirit Dragon, double Spirit with Eyes of Blue, one Tyrant, one Neo Ultimate, definitely one Baron DeFleur. With the Kaiser, you could turn a level 1 tuner into level 2, and then the Blue Eyes White Dragon can go right into the Baron DeFleur. The Kaiser itself with the Blue Eyes could go into a Crimson Dragon, which will then search for a Synchro Rumble if you want to be playing that. So very nice. This is going to be so far the standard way to play the extra deck. And then triple Veiler. Of course, we have multiple ways to search it. Then even add it from the graveyard with Master if we want to. Triple Sage, triple Maiden, triple Ash, triple Wishes, triple Imperm. 3 Kaiser is the way. Double Piri Reese map. Okay, no bingo, by the way. No to the bingo. And no Where Art Thou. Magna Hut, great summon off of the Hieratic Seal. 2 Blue Eyes of the Way. A Mad Lad even was playing 1. Wow, that is interesting. It's split on the... It's more so 2 to 3 Fool Loss is more popular than not playing it whatsoever. So I would be leaning towards you do play this in your deck based off of the analytics here. And Jet Dragon's in at the moment, and so is Master. Wow. Nice. And also Jerusalem. So I am excited for other Mad Lads doing well with Blue Eyes. I'll be looking into that.